So we're good to go. We are now live.
All right. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. My name is Julie Jonca, and I will be the facilitator or moderator for this morning's session. Online as well from our team is Jose. If you want to wave Jose, she will be monitoring the chat box throughout the presentation. So feel free to drop any questions or messages that you have in the chat box. Let me first start by thanking you for joining us for what we know will be a very informative session for anyone who's interested in hearing more about some of the career opportunities in the mining and mining services industries. We all know that to remain competitive, companies need to have access to a qualified workforce. So with that in mind, for those of you who are online because you're interested in pursuing a career in mining, we want you to have as much information as possible so that you make informed decisions about your future in the mining industry. And for anyone from industry or for the community at large who's tuning in this morning, we also want to convey that message to as wide an audience as possible. So the word gets out that there are wonderful opportunities available in our mining industries, and that we can ensure that the mining companies can find the workers that they need so that they can continue to grow and strive in our Northeastern Ontario communities. So again, thank you for joining us. The panelists are on screen. They will be introduced to you individually shortly. Before we begin, on behalf of our organization, the Far Northeast Training Board, I would like to thank our partners for making this event possible. First of all, Canadian TradeX, Northern College, Collège Boréal, Cochrane District Social Services Administration Board, Mishkegawak Employment and Training, and NORCAT. I'd also like to acknowledge that our organization is funded by the Ministry of Labor, Training and Skills Development. So let us now begin with a little bit of information on how we're going to proceed for the next 90 minutes or so. There are 4 panel presenters. Each of them will talk about opportunities within their company, their industry, educational requirements, skills and qualities that they look for in new hires, and any advice, other information that they have for anyone who wants to train for and or pursue a career in mining. Each panel presenter will speak for up to 15 minutes. After all panelists have presented, we will invite questions and or answer any questions that are posted in the chat box. So please, throughout the presentation, jot down your questions. We will get to them at the end of the presentations. And also, if your question is specific to one panelist, then please note that with your question as well, so that we forward the questions accordingly when we get to that point. So without further ado, I will begin with the introduction of our first speaker. I need to pull my little bio notes. I want to do them justice, so I will read the bio. First up is Stacey Rodell, who is with Kirkland Lake Gold. Ms. Rodell is a human resource professional with over 15 years of experience in mining, agriculture, and industrial settings. Currently, the HR business partner with Kirkland Lake Gold's Macassa mine site. Her diverse background allows her to support the HR functions, including recruitment, performance management across the mine site. So, Stacey, turning it over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Julie. And thank you as well for the opportunity to speak today with the group. So I'll go ahead and share my screen presentation. So that can be seen.
Yes, Stacey, we can see it.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. So to start things off, I wanted to actually speak about going back about 5 years in time here. I actually was from Southern Ontario at the time. The mining industry was something that really I hadn't given any thought to. I had worked in agriculture and industrial, and I really didn't understand what the careers path and what career paths there was in mining. So, you know, I had the stereotypical mining perception. So we thought of mining, we thought of dirty, you know, manual labor, Miserable old men was when I spoke to someone what they thought of as well. Dark, cramped, confined spaces, dangerous, and no real opportunity for careers, and basically an uneducated, low skill workforce. Um, what I quickly learned upon joining Kirkland Lake Gold was this is not at all what mining is in any shape or form. Yes, it's dirty. That part is always going to be there. There is dirt. Um, but the diversity and the dynamicness of mining was actually what attracted me to it. Um, so, what mining actually is, it's teamwork. It is individuals coming together for a common goal, collaboration. It's professionals. And that doesn't necessarily mean in the sense of white collar, but these are individuals who invest their time. This is a career for them. And on the most part, people take that very seriously and they commit to the roles that they're in. Advancing technology. So, mining, of course, is one area where we're constantly at the forefront. And I know with Macassa, with lowering our net zero emissions and our battery gear, we are constantly trying to move forward, as well as with remote mucking, etc. We always want to stay ahead of the curve. Safety at the forefront. Mining does have dangers, yes, but the mine sites have a commitment to ensure that safety is always of the utmost concern, and we're taking every precaution to eliminate those hazards associated with it. And one that was important to me, it's very community driven. So mining is an industry whereby there's a lot of impact within the community and a lot of giving back within the community. So in all honesty, the paths you can take in mining are pretty endless. I've listed some of the departments here that we regularly hire in. What's important to realize about these is, when you see something like procurement, it doesn't just mean a buyer. Procurement can be a buyer, a warehouse supervisor, a warehouse attendant. It can be shippers and receivers. Each different area has a diverse sort of opening of what roles there are, and it can align to various skill sets depending on what individuals are looking for. So I'll talk a little bit about who Kirkland Lake Gold is. We, of course, are a Canadian-based gold mining development and exploration company. We're a senior gold producer and we operate in Canada and Australia. And our gold production target for 2021 is 1.3 to 1.4 million ounces. We do have our corporate office in Toronto, and we are in the process of building a Canadian operations center as well, located in Timmins. So definitely are regularly looking in Northern Ontario. I specifically deal with our Macassa site, so based in Kirkland Lake. This is where you'll also find our number 4 shaft project and our Macassa number 3 shaft here. So at Kirkland Lake Gold, we believe that being environmentally and socially responsible is essential to the success of the company. We're committed to integrating and promoting sustainability into areas of our business. And we're always seeking to improve our performance by advancing key health, safety, and environmental and economic and employee community engagement priorities. So this can include ensuring we're providing that safe work environment, implementing responsible environmental practices, and creating meaningful opportunities for local employment and training, developing those community relationships that are based on open and honest communication, and ensuring that the communities in which we operate in are benefiting from our presence. So in speaking about opportunities with Kirkland Lake Gold, our goal is to really invest and retain employees who want to work and live in Northern Ontario. Different than a lot of mine sites, and even different than our Detour Lake mine site, is we are a community-based site. We are right within town. So we're not a camp base, and we are looking for individuals who are willing to sort of make the Kirkland Lake or this sort of district their home and to build a family and things like that here. We want to continue to grow by investing in our operations, people, and technology. So with regard to if you are interested in opportunities with Kirkland Lake Gold, we do post all of our opportunities directly on our website, which is kl.gold/careers. From here, once you do navigate onto our careers page, you do have the opportunity to search by keyword or by location. So within that location, you'll see separation between our Four Shaft project, our Detour Lake site, even our Australia postings can be found here. And what you'll want to do is set up a profile within the Kirkland Lake Gold Careers Center here. By doing that, you click on the Careers Sign In, and then once you're in here, you'll have the chance to either sign in or to build your profile. Once you've got your profile built within the system, you can quickly apply for future positions. You can see any of your past applications, and you can also set reminders for future job alerts. So within that right now, some of our critical areas that we are recruiting for right now are experienced production and development miners. So with this role, we're looking for individuals with a minimum of 3 years experience in mining in the underground work environment. These roles are shift rotation roles. So with that, of course, you've got to be able to work on the 5-5-4 rotation. Some of the other critical vacancies right now, we are looking for licensed electricians. And with this one, again, we are looking for individuals who do have past experience working in that underground work environment. We're looking for mechanics. Preference is given to individuals who have heavy equipment technician or truck and coach technician background, or even automotive technician. The automotive can easily translate over into our industry with a lot of the changing battery gear and sort of the way we diagnose equipment when it is underground. And then the other thing we are looking for is geologists and geologists in training. So within both exploration and production, we are looking for individuals with that geology background. So working at Kirkland Lake Gold, we do provide competitive wages, group insurance, and pension programs, and we do have lots of training and development opportunities. This also includes internal postings and things like that. So if individuals were looking to transfer between sites, there's opportunities. And then we do supply PPE as well. We do as well, for those looking, we do still have summer student opportunities for this summer. Our remaining opportunities are in our surface operations, our effluent treatment plant operation, and our warehouse environment. So again, just like any of our others, you can apply directly online in our website for that. And you do have to be at least 18 years of age or older and returning to post-secondary education in the fall. So what are some things that our recruiters here are looking for individuals when we do look at the resumes? So a focus on safety. This includes the safety not just of the employee, but of them recognizing safety of their coworkers and those around them. We want people to come into the mine site and act as an owner of safety within the company. We do operate in a very hot, humid environment, so individuals need to be able to recognize, signs of dehydration and sort of be able to self-manage themselves underground, and when they're working in sometimes alone or with just a partner, they've got to be able to recognize and put that focus on safety before production. So communication skills is another key one that we're looking for. It ties directly in with safety in my viewpoint as well. We need to be able to clearly communicate our concerns, questions, and instructions within the worksite. And that includes providing that feedback, having that open communication with the supervisor. Commitment is our third one, and commitment can mean a few different things. So the first being, are you physically present? So do you attend work regularly and on time? We are looking for people who are going to report every day. We understand things do come up, but we do need a commitment to safety. We can't have someone calling in the first day of every run or things like that. And commitment also means what your level of commitment is that you put into the role. Do you just show up and do the bare minimum and essentially pencil whip on your 5-point safety card and just jot it down? Or do you actively engage in it and put your thought and your effort into it? So, are you committed to the role? And lastly, self awareness. So, the self awareness is basically the ability to focus on yourself and how your thoughts or emotions do or don't align with your own internal standards. So, recognizing where you may have areas to improve and being able to identify and work on those moving forward. So, in part of the instructions I had when joining this, it was some advice about getting into mining. So, the first one I have for applicants is don't give up. There is a lot of opportunities in mining. We also have a lot of applicants trying to get into these roles, especially the entry level. Keep in mind, we often are posting both internally and externally at the same time. So if you don't hear anything, it could be that the position's been filled internally ahead of time. My second point of advice is learn about the site. Know what's happening at that site. Have an idea of some general information about the site. And it doesn't necessarily mean research our website and spout it off word for word. When I say learn about the site, what I would say to do is talk to individuals, talk to people that you may know that work there and get some information. Follow up. Don't be afraid to follow up with the HR team. And one of my most important ones, and I can probably speak for a lot of recruiters with this one, is apply for the right roles. I'll be honest, we often get applicants who will apply to every single vacancy that we have in the company. It does not set yourself up for a positive impact from our recruitment team. We can see with setting it up online, we can see what roles you're applying to, and if it's just sort of a blanket application to everything. Make sure you're looking at the position, understand what the position is and how your skill set applies to it. Don't just apply blindly. That's not the way to get in. So this is one of my most important ones. Make sure you're applying for the right roles within the company. And if you're not quite sure what that role, if you've read the description and have maybe some follow-up questions, especially in the professional setting when it comes to engineering and things like that, don't be afraid to ask questions. We do have a team here. It sometimes may take a day or two to get back to you, but we will do our best to follow up and, make sure that the role is something you're truly interested in and understand the details. So that, with Kirkland Lake Gold, our Macassa site is not a camp base. So make sure those details are understood before you're actually putting that application in. And that's just a little summary there with my contact information at the end.
Thank you, Stacy, for a very informative presentation. We certainly applied for the right person to talk about Kirkland Lake Gold this morning, taking your advice. Thanks for agreeing to join us this morning. And for those listening, if you have questions for Stacy, please do jot them in the chat box and we will get to those at the end of the presentations. Again, thanks, Stacy, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Next up is, you're going to unshare, please.
Yep.
Next up is Stéphane Mayotte. Stéphane Mayotte has been recruiting for 11 years and has been employed with Technica Mining since 2017 as the internal recruitment coordinator. Technica is looking for a wide range of people with varying skill sets related to mining and trades. They're always eager to hear from people with strong core values who are looking to start or continue their careers in the mining industry. So Stéphane, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me first off, and I'll be able to kind of piggyback off of what Stacy was saying. It's interesting how Kirkland Lake is a mining company that obviously owns mining properties. Technica Mining itself does a lot of the same type of work, but we are a mining contractor. Basically, all that means is that, you know, we do all types of work from construction mining, development mining, shaft mining on other people's properties. So that's a little different avenue, but at the end of the day, a lot of similar work is being done. A little bit about Technica. We are a locally based mining contractor out of Sudbury, but we do a lot of work in Northern Ontario, specifically in and around the Timmins area, working a lot with the local mines in that area. To go back to some of the things that was presented here in my introduction about what we're looking for, what the company is about. Core values is one of the really big things that that we run the company by. You know, respect, integrity, courage, honesty, humility. All these things are very important to the people that, you know, we have working for us, and it's something that we really look for in people that we are considering. As much as we need people with experience for these different types of roles, you know, people that are coming in with specific core values is something that aligns really well with our company. The other thing is coming up with, you know, innovative solutions to complete some different types of jobs, whether it's construction jobs or development jobs. It's coming up with these solutions to do this work and to do it safely. Mining there's a lot of risks in mining, but they can certainly be controlled if everybody is aware and trained properly. It's safety is never going to be jeopardized in any of the work that we do, and we won't stand for anybody that is willing to do that. So it's very important for us. To touch on here some of the more specific services that we do provide. Again, construction mining is what the company started on. It's really our bread and butter, but we are not limited to simply construction mining. We do a lot of development and production for our clients, shaft maintenance, servicing. We do also offer engineering services. We have mine finance, and then something that's a little bit newer to us as well is as a contractor, we have a large fleet of mining equipment that we own. So we are offering equipment rentals for our clients. You know, scoops, trucks, bolters, boom trucks, scissor decks, all these different types of gear. We've also recently opened a surface drilling division. So that's just another expansion of Technica to cater to more of the open pit mining, and then certainly you know, road construction in these different avenues. I'm going to get into a little bit more about you know, the roles that we have with the company, you know, what we're looking for. I think that's what a lot of us are here for. I'm going to talk to everyone about, you know, the point of view as a recruiter. I'm basically the first point of contact for any applicant. The number of roles that we have open, and I'm sure this is the same for a lot of the companies, everybody's looking for a lot of similar type of people, but the opportunities within mining is almost endless. I mean, you have the administrative support, you have the, you know, the technical roles from, you know, engineering, you know, estimating, all these different things. You have obviously the frontline workers of, you know, trades, mechanics, electricians, welders, millwrights. Mining, I think, is or should be considered a trade. It's a very, you know, skilled profession. that requires a lot of years to master. So we're looking for all of these types of workers, you know, supervisors, things like that. And I can touch on it again, as I mentioned, you know, we are looking for people with skill sets that can do the work, but people that align with the core values of the company is huge for us. You know, somebody that has really strong core values will show up, you know, just as well, if not better, than somebody that has all the experience in the world. It takes more than just experience to get a job done. We are also seeing the shortage that we're in for the labor market. So we're offering a lot of training opportunities. We have a program right now where we're putting people through underground training. Some people that have experience that they've gained in other industries that would be transferable. So we are looking at people that way, and then you know, those individuals who have these other skills along with the core values that we look at is really big. And we're providing underground training that they may have not had the opportunity to get, or you know, sometimes it's hard to justify leaving a current role to take a chance on something like this. So this is some of the other stuff that we're doing. Students is another big opportunity for us. We hire as many students as we can every year to you know, to come in and support roles, whether it's you know, students coming from trades backgrounds or technical backgrounds, engineering, being able to work on projects for, you know, supporting you know, procurement and planning and scheduling and all these different things. So that's big. We have a lot of students, a lot of full-time people within the company that started out as students. And that kind of leads me to my next thing is the opportunity for a valued career within the company that gives people an opportunity for growth. We have a lot of success with moving people up internally, whether it's, you know, directly in line with the career that they're in right now, whether it's, you know, moving over into a different discipline and trying something else. I can give a number of different examples. One of my favorite ones is a licensed electrician becoming a jumbo driller. You know, so we don't limit anybody. We certainly give everybody that chance to move up. We have open lines of communication with supervisors to have these discussions, so people, you know where they stand, why they're in a particular area, what they need to do to advance within the company and make a plan to get there. Some of the challenges that I see, I can only really speak for myself when it comes to finding people, is not necessarily getting everything that an individual is capable of. So what I mean by that is, you know, when you're applying for a job, don't be scared to be specific as to what you're applying for, what your intentions are, what your goals are. That's what a good cover letter is for. It kind of tells us everything outside of the resume as to why you're applying, what you're looking for, what you're looking for, and then providing with other documentation outside of your resume. So mining is a really good one. I mean, if you're a miner or you're looking to get into mining, if you have Common Core, apply with your Common Core transcripts. If you're a tradesperson, applying with copies of your designations and things like that. The more that we can get all in one shot is going to make things go a lot quicker. It's going to separate you from other applicants if you're doing this. So that's some of the you know, the challenges that I see with people applying. I know Stacy touched on this as well. If you apply for one job, we get your resume. If you apply for multiple jobs, we get all those notifications saying that it's basically been a blanket application. So don't be scared or shy to be specific with what role you want and why you're applying with it. So that's probably the biggest thing. And then, you know, having people understand that, you know, mining is it's a rewarding career. I'm an individual that doesn't come from a mining background. I got into it with Technica. You know, you can actually make a really good career in mining. There's so many different opportunities, so don't be scared to get into it. Learn more about it, do some research, ask some people. You know, I think the perception or the information out about mining is what I think we're lacking as an industry. And certainly something that we're all working on, but it's not everybody that knows that you can have that good career in mining. It wasn't very long ago that the only way you got in, or it seemed like the only way you got in, is if you knew somebody. It's not like that anymore. It's there for the taking. So like I said, don't be shy to go for it. I guess the last thing I can kind of get into is, you know, some of the different careers you have in mining, and then the advice for people applying. I'm probably going to repeat myself to what Stacey might have already said, but be specific, follow up. The reality of things is when you're getting, you know, hundreds and hundreds of applicants, you're trying to do a couple things. You're trying to stand out. And then the follow-up allows your application to be at the forefront. It allows it to be there. People are going to remember who you are. I think there's a fine line of how you do the follow-ups, but if you approach it the right way, and you know, and you time it properly, it'll be advantageous. And then obviously, lastly, we'll be applying with all documentation, training transcripts, things like that you have. Use that. For us specifically, we have everything listed on our website. If I can refer everybody to our website, it's technicamining.com. That's where we have all the information about the company and all the roles. There's even an opportunity to apply to a position. It's called expression of interest. It just gives people an opportunity to apply if they don't necessarily see the job or the posting that they feel is right for them. So we want to give everybody the opportunity to apply and obviously get their resume into us. But that's really all I wanted to go over with Technica, is just let everybody know what we do, what we have open, and I'm here to answer any questions about our recruitment process or give any advice from a recruiter's perspective of what we look for, what we might want to see in any application. So thanks again.
Thank you, Stefan. More great advice for anyone planning a career in mining. And again, please don't be shy to jot down your questions in the chat box. We will get to those shortly. Next up, I will introduce Ken Stewart, who is the Manager of Training and Development for, oh, no, I changed the order on you. Sorry about that, guys. So Jamie was up next. Let's follow the proper order. So Jameson Powell is the business organization lead at the Bucket Shop. He is a business executive with extensive expertise across marketing, finance, and management spectrum, including marketing, product management, financial reporting and management, promotions, public relations, communications, and stakeholder training. He's been effective in aligning and teaching corporate marketing efforts with the overall strategic direction to achieve competitive advantages across multiple business segments and sectors and broad-based audience. He's managed portfolios of multiple products and services and their corresponding profit and loss across 6 provinces. He's a proud member of the team at the Bucket Shop, and he is focused on growing their business beyond the Northern Ontario footprint. I'm getting some background noise, so if we can please mute our microphones if we're not speaking, that would be appreciated. Thank you. So additionally, Jamie oversees the marketing efforts for the company, including advertising, social media, website, business collateral, and general promotional efforts. He's a resident of Northern Ontario since 1998 and is the proud husband and father of 2. That calls Northern Ontario home and a place to live, work, and play. And our goal is to encourage more of you to do that, locate to Northern Ontario to live, work, and play. So Jamie, with that said, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Julie. I'll just start sharing my screen. Make sure, Julie, can you just let me know that that is indeed coming through?
It is. We can see your screen.
Wonderful. So also thank you to Stacy and Stefan for setting the stage. They both represent sort of direct mining companies, and we are in the mining supply and services field, and 98% of what we do serves the mining sector. So I know both of their companies very well. We do a lot of work with them, and we'll certainly extend on what they talked about and for setting the stage about some of the requirements for workforce needs and skills for the mining sector at large. I'll step through a little bit about who we are and what we do, some of the specific skilled trades that we have within our environment, and then a little bit of a view of the industry at large, the mining sector, and the opportunities that exist in Northern Ontario. So on that note, here we go. So first of all, hello and welcome. Bonjour, bienvenue, and wache anin. We want to acknowledge that we are sheltering in the place of the traditional lands of the Matagami and Matachewan First Nations in Treaty Number 9 region. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Council of the Métis Nation of Ontario. First of all, real quickly, who are we, the Bucket Shop? The other logo that you would see in the north is Steel Tech, and that's one of our divisions. I'll touch on the differences briefly. So we're a welding and fabrication facility here in Timmins, Ontario. We've got about 85,000 total square feet of production and research capabilities, currently situated on 15 acres, and we're looking at more property, and that's for a future discussion, but we are continuing to expand. We repair or build large buckets or truck boxes and other components for heavy equipment in the mining sector. We've been operating since 1989, and our employees have peaked at about 140. We rely on predominantly welders and millwrights for our production environment and our field environment as well. And the field, kind of like Stacy alluded to, that there are some mines that operate in municipal boundaries where you can stay at home. Other ones operate in more remote areas that have a camp environment. And we have field welders that would visit those mine sites for support. And finally, we are very proud to say that we operate a very diverse and inclusive environment. We're multilingual, we're multicultural, or multigender, and we have great relations with our Aboriginal partners in the north. And there's just a quick photo of one of the inside shots of our state-of-the-art production facility. So what I'd like to go over real briefly, in hopefully 15 minutes or less, are some of the opportunities that exist within the Bucket Shop and Steel Tech, some of the skills that are required to fulfill those obligations. What are some of our challenges? And ours is not just the Bucket Shop, but it's the industry at large. It'll be a bit of a repeat of what Stacy and Stefan have already said about the labor challenges that we've all experienced. And this is my huge shout out to the Far Northeast Training Board and Julie and team that in the last couple of years have given us data to work with the 10-year forecast of the labor challenge that exists. And now we have evidence to show how challenging it is to get our hands on good people. And finally, the advice for potential new employees of either the Bucket Shop or the mining sector at large. So let's talk about some of the opportunities that exist with us. First of all, the types of jobs that exist, and I'll steal some of the information that Stacy had said, that the perception of mining or skilled trades, and in our case, a welding kind of job, has a stereotype to it. It's most people still see it as a dirty, monotonous, tough job, and there are times when it can be that. But as a welding and fabrication facility, sorry, we just had a fire alarm go off. I may have to exit the building. If somebody knocks on my door, Julie, I'll let you know. So I'll continue until I get interrupted. But the types of jobs, so welders and fitters are a predominant skilled trade that we have to deal with. Millwrights is another type of a skilled trade. And sorry, I'm getting lots of feedback behind me. So I'm going to speculate we're going to have to do a fire drill internally. So if it's not too challenging, Julie, I'm going to pop back to you. I'm going to stop sharing this for a moment. Just 1 second here. Stop share. And would it be too challenging if we called upon okay, the alarm stopped. So I'm going to assume we're safe now.
All right,
okay.
Let's give it a try.
There you go. Okay, I'll go back and I'll share again. 1 moment. See the diversity and the pivoting that we have to do sometimes. So let's try this again. Apologies, folks. Okay. So I was talking about some of the opportunities that exist, starting with some of the types of jobs. We talked about welders and fitters. Millwrights are the folks that would attend to mills or processing areas at mine sites and do some of the general repair work. We have machine operators, and we have our mobile machines like loaders and our own trucks that we have to operate. We have our business office. That's where I reside. I oversee some of the business functions. So I'm not a welder by trade, but we have lots of business office type professional opportunities as well. We have mechanics on site that would take care of our own equipment. We use industrial painters. We have 6 of them that are hired to paint all the big stuff that we build. The work conditions that we operate under in the production environment, we have 2 shifts. They work on weekdays only right now. And if and when business expands accordingly, we can extend that to 7 days a week. And there's lots of overtime in the mining sector right now. We operate a very clean and modern environment. In as much as it is a welding and fabrication facility, we constructed it in 2017 with all the latest fume extraction and air quality measures, which was a necessary thing from Ministry of Environment standards, and we are within the city limits, so we had to be very cautious of potential effluents and noise and things like that. So it's a wonderful environment to work in. Our Steel Tech division is the group that travels to mine sites on a rotation basis, and that traveling could be anywhere from an hour away to 12 hours away. We've done lots of work in Northwestern Ontario. Finally, some of the education requirements. Welding and millwright not requires, but has a certification level that goes along with it. You can be an experienced welder without having certification, but the certification demonstrates competency. And then there's apprentice programs that would take you through formal education as well. So lots of opportunities to grow your expertise in welding and millwright. And finally, internally, again, I talked about apprentices. There are college level opportunities either within the skilled trades or in the office here, and then university options as well, depending on the level of business expertise that you're interested in and that we require. Jumping into some of the skills required, whether you're a new employee, an apprentice, or a co-op student, I've kind of got just 4 general categories divided by hard skills and soft skills. So some of the hard skills clearly in our environment is welding and millwright. We require that competency. We put things together. So you can learn on the job, and I'll talk about some of the training programs we have. The second hard skill is that practical aptitude for machines in general. Welding is the core part of our process, but we start most of our jobs with a great big piece of flat steel plate, and then it gets cut into pieces, and then it gets bent or formed into shapes. Then it gets fitted together, then it gets welded, and then it gets typically sandblasted or abrasive blasted, and finally it gets painted. So our end-to-end process is quite broad, although welding and millwright is the most people that we need in the middle of that process. Finally, some of the soft skills. Stacy and Stefan talked a lot about the mindset of people, and we look for a growth mindset. We do need people of expertise that are quite willing to just come in and do their job and do, let's say welding very well. But we certainly nurture and endorse people to have that growth mindset where they may want to grow beyond the welding to learn other parts of the business, other parts of the industry. And we're quite willing to train people internally. And if there are other opportunities in the mining sector, we're proud to, support a worker that has other opportunities within the mining sector and train them for new opportunities. And finally, we look for people that have a career with purpose. And that's sort of an employer mindset that we've instilled, that we'd like people to understand why they're doing what they're doing, not simply come in, make some sparks and head home. We love sharing information about our big projects, what the industry is doing, where the opportunities are, what's the next 3 years going to look like. So we've tried to create an environment that's a fun place to work and has a lot of future opportunities with it as well. Moving into some of the recruitment and retention challenges, and I'm taking information again, pat on the back for Julie and team at the Far Northeast Training Board for providing us this industry data. But we have a critical labor shortage, and really for the next 10 years. Northern Ontario has a challenge with our aging and retiring workforce, and our population is declining. Our families, we're not having lots and lots of children, and some of our children that we do have are leaving the area to pursue either careers or education outside Northern Ontario. So it is a big challenge to deal with, and every sector is being impacted, particularly the mining sector. Secondly, there are jobs without people and people without jobs. So that's just a bit of a mismatch of where the skills are, but where the jobs lie as well. And thirdly, there is a bit of a misalignment of the educational curriculums and where the career opportunities are. Specific to Northern Ontario, roughly 40% of the jobs available are in the skilled trades. Yet, using Ontario stats here, only 26% of those potential jobs have people in a curriculum that could fulfill those jobs. So, I'll use an example. The school system trains lots of doctors, lawyers, teachers, and nurses, but there may not be jobs when you graduate. Whereas if we could train 40% of students in skilled trades, that would be a virtual guarantee of jobs at the end of your educational sector. So that's what I mean by that misalignment of curriculum and career. Moving on to a bit of recruitment and retention, our 3 pathways approach. So from recruitment, we have organic growth, and by that I mean we provide internal training, and we do a lot of regional recruitment for welders and millwrights and painters and whatnot. Secondly, we have strong Aboriginal partnerships. So we've actually built our own dedicated training in-house for Aboriginal women right now to learn welding and get full-time employment on our shop floor. And thirdly, we've subscribed to an immigration strategy. In no uncertain terms, Canada needs more people, and we've already hired 6 newcomers from outside of Canada to fill roles in the welding sector. So there are job opportunities, and if there was more people locally, we'd hire as many as we could, but our demand is so high that we've actually had to go outside of Canada. In terms of retention, some of what we do is to retain people is we provide a strong compensation package. The mining sector is a great place to be employed within. The overall compensation package is on par with any other sector there is out there. Secondly, we have a really wonderful state-of-the-art environment. It is, I like to say to people, we're not your typical welding shop. When you come inside our building, it's a perfectly modern business environment matched with a modern production environment. It's clean, it's healthy, it's got the latest of everything. So it really is a great place to work. And finally, we have a future growth plan. We have a lot of big contracts within the mining sector, and we're developing plans to not only support mines, but support some of the original equipment manufacturers, like some of the big names you might have heard of is Caterpillar or Komatsu. So we do work with those large companies, and we also do a lot of work with the end mining customers as well. Finally, stepping into our advice for careers in mining. First of all, the next 50 plus years looks very strong, with Timmins right now as the new hub of mining in Ontario. There's a lot of new mines opening up. Actually, that's kind of my next line. Several new gold mines are developing or expanding just in Northern Ontario. We have a new nickel mine ready to come on board, which is ready to support the battery electric vehicles throughout the world. The Ring of Fire, popular topic in the news and has been for many, many years, but it's finally on the horizon, and there's some infrastructure being put in place to finally get that operational. And that has a 80 to 100 year lifespan associated, which will mean great things for Northern Ontario. We bring value to the industry. So as I said before, skilled trades make up about 40% of the available jobs, and several other skill sets are required. And finally, and this is right from the mouths of the province of Ontario and the federal government, that Northern Ontario is really a global gem. We have fresh air, fresh water, lots of trees, and lots of space. So we've absolutely been targeted by many countries, not just companies, around the world as a great spot to set up new business. So if it's representing the government's speech here, we are being looked at as being the next best place to live, learn, work, and play. So for anyone interested in a career, you're doing it at the right time, and in Northern Ontario, you're considering doing it in the right place. And I think that's all I had. So thank you, merci, et miigwech. And like everybody else, if there are questions, certainly put them in the comments or the questions field, and we'll take care of them as soon as we can.
Thank you, Jamie. Merci for providing not only an overview or the importance of the jobs in mining, but also the importance of Northern Ontario and considering it as a place to live. And I'm glad that your fire alarm was a false alarm.
Me too. Thank you.
All right, moving on to our next presenter, and sorry, my apologies for the mix-up in the introductions earlier. I had the order mixed up. So we'll now get to Ken Stewart, who is the Manager of Training and Development for Northern Ontario at NORCAP. Ken, in his role, is focused on the delivery of health and safety programs and developing regulatory frameworks for many of the world's leading mining companies operating in Ontario. He has an accomplished work history in health and safety and continuous improvement in mining and other resource sectors. Prior to NORCAT, Ken was employed with Barrick Gold, holding a variety of senior roles. He served as Barrick's operational effectiveness superintendent, where he facilitated all the procurement, business improvement, health and safety training. He was also the signing authority for MTCU programming and performed continuous improvement duties to aid in the development of a safe and efficient workplace. So Ken, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Julie. Following Stefan, Stacy, and Jamie's going to be a tough act, but hopefully I can add some value, and I hope people are taking notes. They've given some great advice ahead of me. So options in mining. My layer work here would be good. There we are. Okay. So a little bit about NORCAT. So I was really appreciated core values as well. NORCAT, we have some major core values. We also have priorities that we look at. We are the global leader in training development. I'll explain that more in the slide deck. We're the global one-stop shop for all that is the future of mining, technology, innovation. We do simulating training as well, mostly out of our Sudbury, our Levack mine. We have a dynamic, exciting workplace that fosters collaboration, continuous learning, and development. And quite often, the companies we work with, the trainees we have provide a lot of that continuous learning for us and with us. And above all, we celebrate. We promote our success in the leadership by listening, highlighting, and sharing the stories of our clients' successes. And I can't wait till I get to the last couple of slides. My good friend Jamie in the Bucket Shop, it's been a great training partnership with what they have been doing there. So when I talk about one-stop shop safety, what do we do at NORCAT day in, day out? All of our offices, and we have 4 of them in Ontario, working heights. We are in the construction business. On my street alone, I think there's 3 houses getting shingles done this week. So we do that program. It's a 3-year, it's good for 3 years. Then we come back, we can do a refresher program as well. Joint health and safety training, we do that twice a month. For anybody that is aware or not aware, any company over 20 employees, you need a joint health and safety committee. Okay, it's been mentioned 2 or 3 times about the Ministry of Training College University. It's now, as Julie said, Ministry of Learning, Training, Skills Development. If you are doing any signing off for those modules, you need a certified trainer that would provide that training, and then the signing authority would sign that person off. So we do that probably about 3 times a month, honestly. It's a requirement that we're going through a rush for right now. And things kind of cycle. What's cycling right now out of my office here? Aerial work platform. That there kind of piggybacks on working heights. If you're going to be using an elevated work platform, aerial work platform, you need working heights. So even today, we set up training for in Kirkland Lake tomorrow to provide that training for a subcontractor to Kirkland Lake Gold. A forklift training, we provide that as well. One of the mines, they specifically reach out to us to ensure the skills development of their trainees, their employees is up to par. Then I'd like to talk about the customized training we do. So the soft skills, some use the term. Today, right in Timmins by Zoom, one of my colleagues, the Director of Advisory Services, she is actually providing accident incident investigation for a large mine here in Timmins. Really excited. If I wasn't on this call, I'd probably be joining Trina. I'm hoping it goes well. Another course that we had, and once again, it's customized. It's what we coin navigating the green book. So when we do our supervisor training or any sort of training, we do touch on the Occupational Health and Safety Act. We just touch on it. This training partner asks us to develop a program a lot more intense so their supervisors and their superintendents could actually get into the green book, understand it. So we deal with 3 green books here. Believe it or not, we're mines and mining plants, but also this company deals with construction. They wanted to get into that. We also touch on industrial establishment if that's something that's required. My last bullet, I got 60 plus online courses. I probably lowball that. At NORCAT, we have in excess of 60 computer-based training courses. Now, all those courses may be online, but depending on the client, some of them may require or ask us to do instructor-led, or perhaps blended, half computer-based, half with instructor. I apologize, I'm old school. To me, nothing is more hands-on than having an instructor writing your course. So one perfect example I'll give, confined space entry. We'll do that online, but any of the clients I have, the Mines, Kirkland Lake Gold, there, Stacy, we've definitely done it in-house with an instructor right there. So this is kind of a bit of a overview of some of the courses that we do day in, day out, plus a host of others. So we want to get into mining. Here we hit this slide here. So if you're going to work in an underground mine, you will need underground hard rock common core. A lot of the mines and the contractors may have their in-house training. We provide that at our mine in Levack. It's a 4-week course. I find out in July, we're actually going to go to 5 weeks. And having been in Stope School, it's pretty intense. Gives you a good overview of the type of modules you'll need. I will admit right now, because of supply and demand, there's a waiting list, but if somebody is on this call is interested, I would recommend getting your name in there. If there's a cancellation, maybe you can get in. The other one that we do is the Diamond Driller Assistant Common Core. I should add is surface and underground. And NORCAT, to me, my 7 years NORCAT, they're all about training partnerships. We have a great training partnership with Bort Longyear. This is their business. They are custom, they're leading the way on that. And also, I think everybody's touched on it. You may not really get into be the jackleg miner or whatever, but there's other avenues to get into mining, and perhaps diamond drilling might be something to consider. The third bullet I have there is the underground service type common core. So that's designed for the people that are, say, your electricians, your carpenters, your mechanics, your millwrights. It's only 2 days. There's kind of a half a day where you'll do the online theory courses. Then once again, out at our mine in Levack, then they put you through 4 of the basic common core modules. The next 2, for those that may want to work on surface, and great careers on surface. Surface miner common core. So 3 basic modules there to get you on surface. And the mirror image of that, I do have a lot of friends, they have no interest in that. They want to work in a process plant. They want to be where the gold is. So if that's where your interest is, we do run a mill common core program. It's 4 of the basic modules. So those are both 1-day courses. My last bullet there on the common core training, it's the generic and the underground supervisor common core, the frontline supervisor underground. So if I can take the liberty, and our CEO's dialing in, to me, the generic supervisor common core is the flagship common core training at NORCAT. When I worked for Barrick Gold, I actually took it, went through the process. It's rock solid. It's 7 modules. It meets the MLTSD checklists. And the underground frontline, it's 2 extra modules, an engineering and a geology module as well. So generics, 3 days. The underground supervisor common core is an additional 2 days, 5-day course. Pretty intense, but we need our supervisors well trained. So that's kind of an overview of the common core program we have at NORCAT. So my next slide, I've titled it In-House or In the Field Training and Development for Clients. So these clients there, they actually will have us either do the training in-house here as a third party, or we may go to their mine sites, or it could be an ATCO trailer. We've done that before. So if I can start off, my top left corner for me, first speaker we had, Kirkland Lake Gold. Kirkland Lake Gold, which took over Detour Gold, huge training partner for NORCAT. I can't overemphasize that enough. It's been just a great relationship, and it's ongoing. Our CEO and Tony McCush were on call just last week, and we're looking to keep building that partnership. Pan American Silver, we call it Lakeshore Gold, the Timmins West, the Bell Creek. The first company, when I first came to Timmins, that brought us on board to do their online orientation. It must be 6 years now since then. My top right corner, I have Glencore. I had a trainer for the last 3.5 months, been at the Met site there, providing their training that they customized for themselves. And my other trainer was up at the Kidd mine site doing joint health and safety training trainer. So yeah, we will go to your mine sites if that's what you would like. IAMGOLD, huge project between Sudbury and Timmins. We're doing a lot of training for IAMGOLD, but we are doing it this phase of their, as they grow the company in the mine, for their subcontractors. It's been monstrous. Nuna Logistics is a large client doing contract work there. We do all their supervisor training, Surface Common Core as well. Newmont, we all know them. They're huge right here in the city of Timmins. We've done hybrid training for them. An example I think about real quickly would be Working at Heights. They had what they did for Working Heights. We had our CPO approved course. We blended it together, cherry picked, did it just specifically for Newmont. Argonaut Gold, exciting project. We're about 3 weeks into a partnership with them. We will be doing in-field. What I mean by that is as they ramp up production, we'll be bringing in 4 trainers to kick it off. Some of these trainees they've got, just like Stacy and Jamie and even Stefana said, green as grass, newbies, but they show that initiative. They want to become miners. At this point, it'll be a surface mining Argonaut Gold. To those that have been in years of experience, we'll come in and just do a skills verification. So exciting project. In the little town of Dubreuilville, and I'll slide down below that, Alamos Gold out of Dubreuilville. We're a great training partner with them, doing supervisor training, train the trainers, so forth. To the left, I got West Dome. I will do the same sort of trainings there, their supervisor training. And I may add right now, a lot of this training is by Zoom. Due to COVID, a lot of our clients, they appreciate that we can still carry on the same training. Just a little challenging as we found out with technical things that Zoom brings, but we fight through it and move forward. McEwen Mining, one of my good friends there, Kenny Levoy, we do a lot of training out there. What I'm seeing there, and we're talking about hiring people for the mines, they look to be bringing on board for people in their process plants. So we're doing a lot of third-party Mill Common Core training recently for McEwen. My old company, I work for Barrick Gold. The contractor there now is Barminco. We're doing a lot of their supervisor training, Heart Gold, Mill Common Core, Magris Talk. Well, Magris, we're not really doing a lot of their in-house training other than the forklift and supervisor training. And lastly, at Eagle Eagle, recently they've been sending a lot of people from Quebec that are, I guess, will be doing their supervisor training and surface miner Common Core. So that's a little bit of a sketch of in-house or in-field training or developing training that the clients require. So a few of them fell off the map there. Those that didn't fall off the map, these are the ones that we provide online contractor safety orientation. So before you go to these mines, you'll need an orientation, kind of the soft skills, you know, what's their working heights level? What are some of their HR requirements? Stuff like that. So perhaps rather than having a trainer sit there once a week, which we did at Hemlo, you can register online and to the liberty of your own house, your office, or at a NORCAT site, you can take the online orientations. Kirkland Lake Gold, Pan American Silver, IAM Gold, Argonaut only went live 3 weeks ago. Equinox, much the same. We still provide them. Now, De Beers in the bottom right corner, yes, they are in a shutdown mode, but we still provide online training for any of the contractors going there as they go in the demo position. And if you're not on a list, we're looking for you because we do reach out, and I have some clients that are considering it. So we're always excited to bring more into the NORCAT family for their orientations. Okay, so yes, we're about mining, but we also have been asked to put a program together for, I'm tying this into my friend Jamie of the Bucket Shop, Keepers of Circle. It was called Workplace Safety Training. These people were looking for opportunities kind of outside of mining, but supporting mining roles. So we devised this program with leaning on one of my colleagues out of the GTA office. His background is construction. This is his bread and butter. So he helped us put a program together with just general health and safety in construction. Welding tools awareness. We are not the specialists. The fellow who just spoke ahead of me, they are the specialists in welding. So we provide just an awareness. I have a trainer, 32 years, retired from Glencore. He's CWB certified. He's more than qualified to just provide the awareness and brings the tools in. The people touch the tools, have a look, and then when they're done, then they go out to the bucket shop with a great placement opportunity. The rest of the courses basically are just awareness courses, lockout, tag out. Jamie talked about it, a state of the art. We still make sure that they have some awareness training and respiratory protection. Pre-COVID, we would fit test them there. That's been on hold for now until we get through this next phase of COVID. The standard, love it or like it, WHMIS. And the one course we've added, and I see great value in this, for a lot of our trainees coming in, it could be their first job ever leaving home. We have provided a workplace violence harassment awareness. This is 2021. There is no room for bullying, harassment in the workplace. We give them an overview that it will not be tolerated. Listen to Stefan and Stacy and Jamie. I'm glad to see their core values. They're big on inclusion, diversity in their work sites. Here we are. This is the great opportunity I was talking about. The Bucket Shop. I know coincidentally Jamie's on here. I cannot sing enough praises. I'm new to Timmins, 7 years. I speak to my senior management team. The Bucket Shop is a leading company in the city of Timmins and region. So Mr. Woodward, Jamie, and these three young ladies here, I know them by first name. Cheryl, I think, was our first trainee from here, graduated, got their PPE on, the smiling faces say it all. Great story. It warms me up. And I'm going to quote you, Mr. Pooh. 100% of the graduates have graduated with at least one CWB welding ticket. It demonstrates the competency in a welding type and the positions. Over the first 2 years, they've taught over 2,200 hours, taken these ladies through curriculum levels, introduction, intermediate, and advanced. And I may add, not only that, they stood the test of time. Mining might be a man's world. It may have been, not no longer. There's a lot of our ladies, the diversity out there, the inclusion is phenomenal. So kudos to them for sticking it out and making it happen. And I know being offline with Jamie's pretty proud of the work that his trainers have done with these gals, and some of the gals have gone through the program. So success for sure. So that's kind of a summarization of NORCAT Timmins. Like I do say, we do have 3 other offices, Thunder Bay, GTA, and Sudbury, but we work together. And once again, please reach out. We'll provide the training for these companies or for prospective trainees. And I think it was Stefan said that little bit of training may set you aside on a resume. So good luck. Thank you very kindly. And I look forward to any questions on the chat line. Good luck. Mine has been good to Ken Stewart and his family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you all of our presenters for providing some wonderful insight on the range of opportunities that are available in mining and the range of support that's available as well for anyone wanting to train for and or pursue a career in mining, and great advice as well to those who are in the process of thinking about planning a career in mining. We're right on time or almost. So we'll go to see if there are any questions in the chat box before we conclude. So Jose, did you get anything on your end?
Yes, I have a few questions actually.
All right, let's go ahead with them.
Okay, I'll go with Stacy first. Does Kiel Gold have a virtual booth with the HR staff at this event? And somebody else asked roughly how many females work for Kiel Gold?
So I believe we do have a booth happening at the event. I'll be honest and say I'm not 100% sure who is manning it, if it is from the Detour Lakeside or from our corporate side, but there will be someone available there. When it comes to females, we are diversifying, and we are actually seeing quite a bit more females joining us in the trades as well as in the mine production, which is outstanding. I'll be honest, right now I don't have an exact number, but we definitely are growing our female workforce quite significantly, actually, in the past 3 years, I would say.
Perfect, thank you. I'll go with Stefan at Technical Mining. Somebody is asking, how active is your new drilling division, and are you finding it hard to get drillers?
First part of that question, the drilling division is doing very well. Right now, for this season, this summer season specifically, we've taken on a smaller number of jobs to keep our current people in that division employed. We're actually considering at not taking any more work, depending on where we're at. I guess not to give the wrong impression, but it's a brand new division for us, and we certainly want to walk before we run. So we're making sure that we have a really good handle on things, make sure that all our procedures are in place, and that we're doing some of the jobs, some of the first few jobs carefully and very safely. And we want to keep the same standard of quality as well that we have with our underground division. So it's going very well. There's no shortage of work. And as we kind of continue moving forward, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. When it comes to the people applying, I've been getting a lot of applicants within that division. We haven't had too many struggles when it comes to finding people, but I imagine that'll change in a hurry once we let the floodgates open and take on a lot more work. But again, the same process: get resumes in, follow up, be specific with your interest, and just keep at it for sure.
Thank you. Jamie, at the Bucket Shop, how many Aboriginal women are entered in your program?
Excellent. Oh, can I have an hour to answer? Do I have to be? No, so the program right now, we take 4 women at a time based on the amount of capabilities that we have, but we are doubling that as we speak. So we're going to be able to take 8 women at a time in the program, starting in October. And October is sort of the end of year number 2. We've graduated 36 women so far, with a total of roughly 50 welding tickets. So now year number 3 is going to be special, because not only are we going to have capability for 8 women, the program partner, which is Keepers of the Circle, is expanding their program mandates to include men and youth. And youth are by category age is 19 to 30. Now that's an application process that you go to Keepers of the Circle first, and then they vet the applicants, and then they come to us. So anyway, that's my very long-winded answer. Right now, 4 at a time, soon to be 8 at a time. And then we have 6 intakes, we call them, per year. So 6 times 8 for year number 3, we'll have 48 graduates of the program, of which some will stay with us full-time, and the rest will be in partnership with the rest of the mining sector to hopefully find placements for them there as well. So hopefully that helps.
Okay, so this is a general question. Hello, everyone. My name is Max. I live in Sudbury. I am a mining engineer who graduated from abroad in Chile. I've been looking for a job in mining as a junior EIT for a year with no success yet. Do you recommend going back to school in order to get a co-op student placement in a mining company, then be hired as an EIT?
I nominate Stacy for that one as the KL Gold representative. But no disrespect, sorry, Stacy.
I had a feeling it might have been heading back to me here, but that's okay. So I'll be honest, Max, we do have, when it comes to entry-level EIT opportunities, we do have a very large applicant base coming in. So what we are generally looking for in that is someone who does have some work experience, and whether that is overseas or here. Between our engineering and geology, we actually have quite a number of individuals who were actually trained overseas. Ideally, though, we do like to see sometimes a bit of Canadian experience, whether that be your education or a bit of practical work experience. But we do often see that. And I think it's just a matter of keeping persistent and continuing to apply. Like I mentioned before, some of our postings go out, but we're actually filling them internally with other applicants from within the company before we're looking at externals. And just hang in there, never be afraid to reach out or to give a call as well to the individual at site too, to discuss and maybe get your name more at the forefront. I know we've kind of talked about that a couple times, about making sure you do that follow up at the right time, and don't be shy to it. It can make you stand out sometimes.
Okay, next question is for NORCAT. Can a job seeker take some of these courses, or are they only available to mine employees?
Anybody can take these courses. Yeah, there's no issues there at all. a little bit of a caveat though, for some of the Common Core, because you're not our employee, we can't sign you off. If you're being hired, say, a subcontractor, it could be attractive. You paid for those dollars. You've shown initiative. That I've seen separate resumes. So, but yeah, come on in. My email's at the last slide. Thank you.
I have another general question. Is the best path for an immigrant to get a job and then work it with a Canadian immigration?
I'll volunteer to step in on this one just because we've gone through the immigration process very recently and now understand what it takes from a company's perspective in Canada and a potential newcomer to go through the process. So anyone that's looking to come to Canada will have to go through a process, an immigration process that's combined with their own country and the Canadian immigration group. You'll hear terms in Northern Ontario. We have a really unique program called the Rural Northern Immigration Pilot Program. It works in conjunction with companies that require, and the acronym is coming to me, I can't remember it at the time, LMIA, Labor Market Impact Assessment. So for any other companies, the mining companies, to be able to hire outside Canada, you have to submit this labor market impact assessment, which basically states we don't have enough people to fulfill that role. So our actual example for welders, we said we're trying to hire 25 welders. We've only gotten 5 applications. We need to go outside Canada. The Canadian government approves that. So now we're approved to go outside Canada to look for that amount of, say, welders. On the other side is a group of welders that enter their name into a database with their country, and then the matching process takes place. So their country puts them together with the Canadian database and says, here are matching jobs for you. Submit your resume and we'll pair you with the best company as an option. So to anyone outside Canada looking to come to Canada to be a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, you need to start with your own immigration department, your federal immigration department, and then they will talk to the Canadian immigration department to start the process. Sorry, that was long-winded, but hopefully that helped.
Just on a side note, Max says thank you. Ken, somebody wants to know how challenging has COVID been for your group for training?
So, how challenging has been? Maybe on the technological side, some of us with the gray hair, we didn't grow up with Zoom and stuff like that, but a lot of our courses are theory, no problem. I guess if there was just a small little one, if we can't send the training materials electronically, we got to send it in advance with FedEx and that, but no, I'm going to say no. Is a challenge? Sure. It's just, for people logging in. Yeah, bandwidth would be a thing. Yeah, I just got some out from Jose. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to be quite honest. I organized some training this morning for West Dome. Has to be when the person's at work, Jamie, because his internet is terrible at home. So that would be the one challenge I will sing out.
I just got a new question for you, Ken, again. This is from Mike Diaz. Hi, Ken. As a sales rep, what training should I look at taking to be able to visit mines in Northern Ontario?
Okay, good question. I think I have a good one-stop answer. Depending on the mines he wants to visit, please get in touch with me. I'll put him with my clerical staff. We'll get his delivery orientation, kind of the, Jamie would know the term, dog and pony show type of thing, we called it. So yeah, please follow up with me. I'll know which mines he's going to. As far as taking a Common Core as a sales rep, no, he doesn't need that.
Perfect. And I have a general question. Is there schooling or training related to mining that I should look at?
Stacy, yeah, please.
Yep. I just unmuted. So yeah, I think this is a very, very general question. And without knowing the career path that you're looking into, it can be tricky. You can take some introductory courses into mining. If you're looking to get into surveying, you're looking at a mining engineering technician or technologist diploma. If you're looking into engineering, you're looking at the mining engineering, things like that. But again, of course, it really depends on what area you're looking into. In finance, of course, you're not going to need those. You're going to need your business administration. Same with purchasing and things like that. So it really depends where you're looking into. There's a lot of different fields that come into the mining, from chemistry, geology, etc. So it would really be dependent on what you're looking into. For entry level, though, no, you would not need that education to support that. We do look for a high school graduate, though, in that regard.
Anyone else want to add to that general question? Any other questions, Jose?
That was it for my end.
That was it. So if there are no further questions, please keep an eye in case something else pops up, Jose, while I'll begin the wrap up. And if there are other questions, we'll just backtrack. So in conclusion, a warm thank you to all of you, our panelists, for sharing information on the opportunities in your industry. To those watching, as I mentioned in the introduction, if you are training for or planning to train or to prepare for a career in mining, we hope that this information was useful to you. There was some sound advice. Be specific, know what you're applying for, both in terms of the company you're applying for, where they are, where they're located, whether they're a site, you're going to be on site, or they're within the communities, as Stacy mentioned. Don't be afraid to follow up. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And as you probably know, if you're on this Mining the Abitibi site, there is a job fair going out for a good part of the day. So a lot more to learn from these companies and other companies who will have exhibits there throughout the day. So don't be shy. Look that up. To those of you who tuned in, who are not necessarily looking for a career in mining, but simply out of personal interest, whether you're industry rep or community rep, please help us get the word out that there are all of these opportunities in mining, and help us promote those opportunities so that mining industries can find the workers that they are looking for. I'd also like to thank our partners that I mentioned in the introduction for making this event possible. And last but not least, obviously, everyone who tuned in, we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the presentations this morning. Again, don't miss the virtual job fair. It's running for a good part of today. If you're interested in more publicly funded training opportunities or options for mining, we have another set of panel presentations slated for 1:30 this afternoon, where we will be talking to college reps and school board representatives about some of what they are doing on their end to train or groom the future generation of workers for the mining industry. So once again, a warm thank you, Stacy Rodell from Kirkland Lake Gold, Stefan Mayotte from Technica Mining, Jamie Powell from the Bucket Shop, and Ken Stewart from Norcat. And Jose, you have another question?
Yes, I do. I just got one. This question is for Stacy and Stefan. Are applications from international candidate considered? How can an international applicant increase their chance of being selected? Thank you.
I can go first here. Are international applicants considered? Yes. For us, they would have to be eligible to work in Canada, but are they considered? Yes. We have people that have been in that situation where they've come from outside of Canada and they work for us, some of which who still work for us. So I don't think that there's anything special to do other than some of the regular things that I've already discussed. For us, it's just highlight your skills, be specific on the cover letter as to why you should be considered, but would be essentially treated the same as any other applicant.
And I can sort of tailor off that for Kirkland Lake Gold. So very similar. If you are eligible to work in Canada, international applicants are definitely still applied, and it's often good to note that you should actually specify that on your resume to indicate that. Otherwise, we would be looking at similar to what Jamie talked about with the labor market impact assessment and having to go through that process if we were going to be supporting a visa process and things like that. So there would be more steps involved if it was determined to be an area that we couldn't fill locally or from within the communities here.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I don't see none.
Going once, going twice. If not, a warm thank you to all of you again for taking the time, and for folks listening, please do browse the virtual booths this afternoon and find out more and continue to explore your options in mining. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.